Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of SEO Bros, where we're all about bros before SEOs. I'm Ben. This is Yaron. What's up, Yaron?
What's up? How are you?
I am chilling. And just a disclaimer: the purpose of our channel, we have to repeat this every so often. The reason we started this channel is because we like to have fun, and we also want to provide value, meet new people, look at websites, help people with their SEO. And a lot of times nowadays, there's so much more noise than before with AEO and LLMs and everybody thinking they're an expert and everybody's just trusting Claude blindly. So we're here to help people actually discern whether the advice that Claude gives them is the correct one.
Yep.
And never, we just want to help.
Yeah, we had a harsh one a couple episodes ago, and I may have been too harsh, uh, but it's all in the spirit of helping you. It's done with the laughter. I know sometimes it could be sometimes people can take it too harshly, but the idea here is to show you your mistakes, um, and help you improve your website. One thing I think, Ben, you and I could be maybe do a bit better is find an issue, explain why it's an issue and what you should do instead. So how you can improve it. That's a place where I think we might be able to, we should be steering a bit more into. Um, so enjoy it. This is done for enjoyment purposes first, and to improve your website. If we've roasted you, if you want to get roasted, drop your website down in the comments below, and make sure you subscribe as well.
Yeah. And today we've got a pretty hard one. This website is built by an SEO expert. His name is Koa.
Yeah.
And Yaron and Tai were on his show called SEO on Air.
Yeah. So we were on the show a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about, after the show, we continued talking a bit. Great guy, super nice guy. So we had so much fun. And we talked a bit about the roast that we're doing, and he said, "You can roast my wife's website. I built it. He's an SEO expert. He built it completely with Claude. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a challenging one. He was very confident in that we're not gonna find any issues. So I'm curious. I'm curious if we're gonna have a roast that doesn't find any issues, and if we do, it's gonna be a great place to send people to see how it's done when it's done properly.
Yeah.
It's a new website as well, so
And he said he already had a dozen of his SEO friends look at it. So we're going to be the lucky number 13 and 14.
yeah. So we'll
Let's
see.
do it.
Let me quickly share my screen, move you down below, and share the entire screen so you can see all the tabs and everything. So the website we're looking at is radiantpelvichealth.com, in-home pelvic floor physical therapy. So pelvic floor physical therapy in Utah Valley. So if you're in the Utah Valley and you need some pelvic floor physical therapy, this is your spot.
You
It's
know
gonna
where
be
to
good for
go.
you. You know where to go. Um, right. So let's take a look. What do we have here? Let's quickly do the basics. So meta title looks good in pelvic. It's got the topic in
Yeah.
there. Description looks to be a good length. Header hierarchy looks good. Frequently asked questions, but the questions are not. So this is something you could improve. The questions themselves could be H3s, and I don't see them here. So this is
Mm.
a very slight improvement, but an improvement nonetheless. I don't know if I would keep. I'm assuming these are articles. So I don't know if I would keep them as headers inside the main page. So slight improvements you could do here. Nothing egregious though. So that's in terms of content. What about canonicals? Self-canonical looks good. There's a robots, sitemap looks okay. Um, let's see what we have actually here. So verified Google reviews. So this is good. You map it, you're directing directly to Google. What I would love to see in this section of reviews, I would love to see an overall score, like your overall business, your
Hmm.
Google My Business GMB score would be good here, and a link to that GMB. This is something. So what happens if I click see more? It opens up for more reviews. Okay. So I would love to have a link to the GMB with the actual reviews. If you have
There's a link on each
Trustpilot,
review, though.
yeah, there's a link to the specific reviews. I see, but I would love to the GMB itself, right? And with the general score of the business, and maybe Trustpilot as well. One of these non-Google entities that does reviews. If you have reviews there, I would keep it there as well. There's a link to the About Us page. About Us page. So his wife is the doctor, Dr. Danaya. Um, good, interesting. Why choose? Good section. So this is I like this. So there's an opening. There's immediately the book or how we treat. So this is interesting. Ah, it's what we treat. Okay, never mind. I'm correcting myself. So there's immediate call to action button, which I like, and then he's immediately going into the pain points. Right? This is happening. This is normal. You were told this is normal. He's directly going into the pain points of the user, and then into the differentiator note, which is good. Very clear, very to the point. And then who it is, right? So there's a very organized structure. This is a very good example. He's starting with pain point into what is the difference, why they should choose them, and who they are, right? So in this case, it's all his wife. Very interesting, very good direction. So there's the issue, the how we're doing it, who we are, again, why us, and our reviews. And then
Wow.
again, back to CTA. So he's hitting all of the marks.
You know what's incredible? If
What?
you go to resources in the main menu, there's the blog. There's
Yeah.
also a women's health directory.
Mm-hmm.
And you click on that. And I thought, oh, cool. This is like an opportunity to link to other places in the area that do women's health. But it's not just that. If you scroll down, there's actual videos of the doc being interviewed or doing a episode with each of these places, which
Wow.
is super cool. That's like legit marketing right there.
That's legit. That's authority. That's
Yeah,
authority. A lot of people are asking nowadays, how do you build authority? How do you make sure that you're credible? How do you build EEAT? This is EEAT. But it's interesting because is she so she does physical therapy herself,
yeah,
but she's also so she's got these collaborations, I'm assuming,
yeah. They talk about all kinds of
women's
topics in
issues.
women's health.
Okay. So you could be so she's doing collaborations with birth workers, and these are the places she would recommend. Interesting. So it's a very interesting approach.
Yeah. And they have different sections on the site, right? They have the conditions.
You're local. Oh my
And
God. Look at this. Are you a local provider? We're building Utah's most trusted women's health network. So it's not only physical therapy that they're trying to do with this website. They're
right.
trying to create a like a local directory with trusted places. So
Yep.
she's putting a lot of responsibility in a sense on who she's listing here. And I guess this is how she's covering that as well.
Yeah. But it's an opportunity. You want to get listed? Let's do an episode together.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We're
And
always
it's all
looking to
local, so if
connect
you
with
could just
women.
meet them in their living room and they can record, it's great.
So this is becoming a source of truth for people who are looking for women's health in Utah Valley.
Yeah,
This is very interesting approach. You
yeah.
can see the areas where they're
So
working.
they have location pages. That's in the footer. They have the services pages. They have the conditions, a page on each condition that she's helping to heal.
Now I'm curious how these pages differentiate between each other. Like, what's the difference between in Payson and then in Spanish Fork? Because that's going to be a tough one. Because what are you going to do different? And I've been searching for an MP. You have probably noticed that most specialties are a long drive away from in. Okay, so they're talking about the distance, right?
And it's the same text. No difference. I think just the headers are different.
Yeah, but I'm curious. Like, is I don't know Utah Valley, so are any of
But
these
they all
like?
say it's a long drive away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do like, do you know if pelvic floor care they're into serving all of Utah Valley? So there's a main one, which is a bit different. So she doesn't serve, or I mean, it's interesting. Go, should you be doing a page for? Again, I need a map because I don't know Utah Valley, but should be like doing a page for Salt Lake City. Then isn't that like the biggest market in the area, like the
I don't
biggest
know.
search?
Maybe it's too far. Maybe
Yeah,
people don't want to drive
I'm
out an
saying
hour.
like I'm saying like what is the keyword here? So pelvic floor physical therapy, right? So if we go to let's see if they're what they're ranking on. So my curiosity, where am I going? I'm saying, okay, you're targeting if I go at the keyword level, right? You're targeting pelvic floor therapy, Payson. That's really the keyword. The rest of it
Yeah, but
is
she's
on
going to
top.
their homes, so she doesn't want to drive out maybe 2 hours to go visit them.
Yeah, but I don't. We don't know. Utah Valley, I'm assuming, is Salt
And
Lake
it's
City
also,
is in Utah Valley, is or is it not?
I don't know, maybe.
Because that's the differentiator here, right? Utah Valley.
Yeah, it's like a 40-minute drive.
How do I go to map? Is there no map here? There we go.
50-minute drive from Spanish Fork to Salt Lake City. All right, maybe it's too
Right.
far, you know? He's starting locally. There's also no rankings for on Ahrefs. The
But
site's too new.
so I'm assuming this is the Utah Valley, right? Just by looking at the location, Spanish Fork, Springfield Pro, or so all of these are the locations. But
Yeah.
I'm in my Pro Zero Organic Keywords ranking. Interesting. It's a new website, but it's interesting that zero keywords. What if I do so again, pelvic floor physical therapy? That would be the biggest main keyword, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm curious to see what terms come out in terms of locations, right? So I'm looking at pelvic floor physical therapy. Then there's near me, of course, these easy ones. But I'm assuming that if I ask, I'm looking for one that has Utah in it, is that's going to be the highest search volume, other than Utah Valley, right?
Yeah, it's
Utah
40.
County. So
It's
this
too broad.
is
Too specific.
so these are too specific, right? Because I don't know if people are looking for it in Payson. if that's how you pronounce the location. Yeah.
No, but I think maybe if you put women's health or something more broad, then they would be. There would be search volume.
Yeah, but the bottom of the funnel keyword for this, for her services, right? For what we treat,
Yeah.
what she does is pelvic floor physical therapy in Utah Valley. But I'm assuming that if I do, instead of Utah, I do Salt Lake City, was it?
Hmm.
Let's see. So pelvic floor physical therapy, Salt Lake City. This would be the location page that they need to create. And this one is a missing one, right? Because
Yeah.
even if I'm from Pace and Spanish Fork, my my initial assumption is that it's going to be in Salt Lake City. So that would be my search. So this is, while these are great and correct and should be done, really you should be targeting the keywords that a person would, because you're looking at search behavior, right? If I
Yeah.
live in these neighboring cities, the usual search behavior would be to look for it in the main city because that's where you get most of your healthcare. I do the same
Right.
thing. I live in Portugal and I live, the closest biggest city to me is Lisbon. So I would look for X in Lisbon, even though the best result for me might be near my home, but I don't know about it and I would not likely search for it in my home. So it's a question of, do these locations, Spanish Fork, does that have search volumes? Are these being searched? If not, then you're missing out on the Salt Lake City page. Even if you don't want to go to Salt Lake City to provide the care, people from these places will probably look for one in Salt Lake City. Right? So that's a missed
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
And that has to be covered as well. Definitely. I'm curious.
They
Internet
rank right
pages.
on top for pelvic floor therapy Utah Valley, but they don't rank at all when you search for it in Salt Lake City.
So you did like a Google search?
Yeah.
Okay. So
But
Salt
they're
Lake City,
also,
it could be that people in Salt Lake City also want in-house treatment. It could be
yeah.
that they specifically don't want to go into Salt Lake City. I don't know what it's like, but yeah,
I think they should focus on off page, on getting more citations, get more backlinks from directories. You could do a lot if you're in health, right?
yeah. I'm curious. Like, what is? Let's look at some of the blogs. So there's a women's health directory, which is super interesting, and then there's FAQ. But let's look at the blogs. So these very Claude-esque. So the design is very Claude-esque. Um, let's look. So there's the about Dr. Danaya. Very good, very interesting. So links to, so EET done properly for sure. Continue to, very good, EAT. And then published date, last update date, 10-minute read, very good. At a glance, so the key takeaways, very good. I'd love to see, so some CRO is missing here. I'd love to see a table of content with a banner, get your quote today. If I come in here, this is the only,
Mm.
and I land, this is the only conversion element I'm seeing here. These
The button
two,
on top.
the button on top,
Yeah.
but, and then it's,
I would add
text.
a sidebar with like
Yeah,
her picture, schedule a call, something.
definitely. So this is another conversion element, but it doesn't pop out. I would do some CRO. Um, and then, okay, see here, book your 15-minute consultation. You see
Yeah.
how it's not visible?
Yeah.
So this is like supposed to be a banner, but I would do a proper banner, correct this font color,
Yep.
and then FAQs, lots of FAQs. These are how many? So these are these. I'm curious if these are specific to the. I mean, is it worth it? How how relevant are the FAQs to the topic we're covering? That's the question. Let's see a different article, a more specific. So is pelvic floor physics worth it? Is very how a pessary changed her life, the quiet alternative to prolapse surgery. Okay, I have no idea what all of this means, but
No clue.
no clue. I have no idea what I just read, but I'm curious. FAQ. Oh, so an empty FAQ.
Yeah. And it leads to the
The
FAQ.
FAQ here. So this is another missed opportunity. FAQs, answering FAQs that are specific to this page. That's a missed opportunity here. A medical disclaimer about the author. A lot of spacing here, and then the section. So this is a missed opportunity. I wonder what it looks like. So it's like an empty FAQ section. This is not the correct. So this about the author is not sitting under FAQs. This should be a separate H2, right? So
Yeah.
the H1 is what the page is about. And then you have the H2, which is what each section of the page is about. And then an H3 is what is a section within the H2. But Dr. Danaya, it's like about the author, is not a section within the FAQ. It is a section within the article, but it's not a section within the FAQ, and therefore the hierarchy breaks here a bit. I'm curious if it's the same issue across the rest of the blog. Does if there's an FAQ. There's so again no FAQ section, and I'm assuming it's the same here. Yeah. So Dr.
Yeah.
Danaya doesn't need to sit here, and the medical disclaimer needs to be at the bottom, complete bottom. I would do
I think that the biggest missed opportunity here is that there's so many more topics that they could write about.
that. You need to do some keyword research for it, but yeah.
Like there's so women's health is huge. There's so much they could write about.
Women's health for sure, but I'm assuming this. So this is a new website, right? I just want to quickly look at the headers here. So again, the H3s should be tagged. The questions themselves, like is pelvic floor physiotherapy worth the
Right.
cost? That should be an H3, and then this should not be an H3. Also,
Right.
this I'm not sure this should be an H2, right? Because this is a call to action. It's
Right.
not part of the topic at hand, right? So
But
it
there's
is
so many
part
things
of
you
the
could write
page.
about. Coming back to my point.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to write about, but I'm assuming right now, given that it's a new website, there's not that many articles. I'm assuming he's focusing more on like bottom and middle of the funnel topics. Women's health is a very broad category, very, very broad. But I'm assuming they're targeting topics that are more relevant to pelvic floor uh,
What do we see
physical
when you
therapy.
click on what to expect in the top menu?
In home pelvic, what to expect?
Amazing.
I have an issue with this. So it's so Claude esque.
Yeah.
This small title before the big title.
Is that a header?
I don't think so. No, it's not a header. So your first visit, 60 minutes.
That looks
Why
amazing,
women
man.
weight pelvic
The
floor?
site's built really well.
I'm not sure about the anchor of the internal link. Most women are, and then it goes to a blog article, Why Women Wait Years for Pelvic Floor Help. And I'm not sure about the slug. Why women wait pelvic floor? PT,
Yeah.
physical therapy. So the slug, I think, I'm curious. Let's look at it. I'm going back to the blog again because this is an interesting section. So is pelvic floor PT worth it? This could be a keyword. Let's see. So pelvic floor physical therapy. Let's remove this filter and include worth. Pelvic floor physical therapy fourth worth? No. Is pelvic floor so physical therapy worth it? I would write the full physical therapy and not go with the here. No, with the PT.
Mm.
I would
Okay.
do write out because that's the keyword, right? I would write it out completely, but I'm curious, like, so this could be an informative why women wait years for pelvic floor help. This, I don't understand the direction of this article. This could be a more branded article, but I don't think anybody's searching for this. Like,
Yeah, it's not for SEO.
I'm curious what the keyword direction here was.
It's maybe not for SEO. It's more for a brand.
Could be meta description, meta title too long. Like in the blogs where the keyword is so long, I would remove the closer
Yeah.
uh, for the meta title. Or do we have good canonicals here? Yes, self canonicals. It's in the sitemap. And okay, interesting. Is there an FAQ here? So here there's an FAQ. How do I need to? So these feel like they are not topic specific. I'm wondering if he's getting like the FAQs from people also ask, uh, answer the
It doesn't look like it.
Republic. Doesn't look like it. So he's missing out here.
I think he's just linking to the main FAQ page, and he's just picking the most relevant FAQs from the main FAQ page. But that's not what people are searching for in that specific keyword. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm
That's
looking at his
interesting.
referring domains, and I think there's a lot of work to be done there.
Sure. I'm even curious about so too long, too long. So that's the thing here. So they're focused in Utah Valley, right? So that's why Utah Valley
Yeah.
is everywhere. But here again, and the endometriosis pelvic floor PT, Utah Valley. I'm assuming he did PT. They did PT because of the trying to keep it short,
Shorter.
but pelvic floor endometriosis pelvic floor does I don't it's because of worth. There we go. Let me clear. So physical therapy, that's the way to write it out. Pelvic floor therapy, physical therapy for endometriosis. And then here you need to kind of take a look and see if mentioning a location is even worth here, right? Because this is, I'm opening too many tabs. So this is a, So this is why did I see Utah? Where did I see Utah Valley? Here. So I'm wondering if this is worth it. I'm assuming the Utah Valley here. I would keep this as a. I would write out the physical therapy, remove the Utah Valley, remove the radiant pelvic health tag. That way, I'm targeting the most high value keyword, which is pelvic floor physical therapy for endometriosis. Right? Pelvic floor exercises for endometriosis. I'm assuming I don't know if they have this, but this feels like exercises. There's so much to write about in connection to the pelvic floor, um, and like at the moment he's thinking. The thinking is very local, but you have a doctor. So you have EEAT, right? She's the doctor. She reviews the content. She edits the content. I'm assuming the content is written with AI, but as long as it's being reviewed and edited and corrected by a doctor, that's fine. Especially in nowadays when everything is AI. But
Yeah.
there's too much local focus. You need to do the local focus, but what I would do is what you could do is you can go into you know I don't know. I'm going to endometriosis and pelvic floor just because we were here already. But here you could do location pages for this specific treatment if the keywords suggest it, right? So I don't think the keywords suggest Utah Valley. Let's see. Let's see if there's a Utah. Let's go broad, right? Utah doesn't suggest it, right? So there's no. It could be that there is search volume, but it's so low that it doesn't get picked up by the systems. But I would remove the locational angle and keep it. It's going to be harder to rank for, but it's going to be much more worth it if you do
Then
rank
you're
for
going to be
it.
attracting traffic from all over the country, no?
It's a good question because there is we can look at it at the US level, but if you're searching for topics, if you're searching for a topic in New York and if you're searching for a topic in Washington, you're getting different results. You got to bear that in mind. So you are getting local results. So I'm assuming that this is a complete assumption and we can check it. So pelvic floor, not exercises, but let's look for a more specific, like bottom of the funnel query. So pelvic floor physical therapy for endometriosis. Somebody who looks for this is looking for a physical therapist. I'm interested to see if there's a local pack here. So it could be that there's a local pack that if they optimize their page for this query, they will show up in the local pack
Right.
because you're looking for a service, right? This is a service keyword, the pelvic floor physical therapy for endometriosis. Now, I could be wrong, but let's wait for it to load up. But if there is a local pack, or if there will be a local pack, you will show up because the entire website is about Utah Valley. And if you have a Google My Business and everything is optimized there, you will show up. But you need to be optimizing for the keywords themselves, not the
Hmm.
local keywords. So doing PT instead of physical therapy, I think it's because you want to keep the local angle inside. I think it's doing more harm than good.
Hmm.
So this is a strategy decision I would fix.
I don't know. I don't see a local pack. Let's see.
Return to running under pregnancy and postpartum. This is a weird something to put under conditions.
Return to running? That's not a condition.
Exactly. So maybe running after
Uh,
pregnancy. Also, why is injury here? This is
Yeah.
muddying the waters, right? We're not a physical, we're a pelvic floor physical therapist, right? We're not a general physical
Well,
therapist.
maybe
That's
people
not
get
word.
injured.
Yeah, but I
Maybe
could
there's a
get
car accident.
injured while running, you know? So
So
we
maybe some
gotta,
people come after pregnancy, some people come after injuries.
but then I'd create a different page for it, right? Running after pregnancy could be the page,
Hmm.
but I wouldn't muddy it with injury.
We also need some spacing over there. What's going on with this giant block of text?
Yeah, so this requires some better formatting.
Yeah. But overall,
Like you see,
that's
so
an amazing site.
it's sitting under pregnancy and postpartum, but should be here. So there's some hierarchy issues that I'm seeing, but overall, the if I take a look at the foundations are good.
Yeah.
Strategy could maybe use some optimization. Um, Keyword targeting could be better. Header hierarchy could be slightly better. There's some work to be done, but overall, a very good website.
Yeah, great job.
Well done, Koa.
I wouldn't say you stomped us, but you almost stumped us.
You did almost. Like a lot of the a lot of the foundational stuff that we usually see
Right.
um, are not occurring here. The homepage I really liked. Pain point, what it is, who we are, why you should pick us. CTAs, like call to actions, straight to the point. Very well done. And the collaborations with the other, the directory place. Very interesting idea. Very good for EAT. Very
Yeah.
good for backlinking. Um, very interesting direction. And the video, I would put under the resources maybe a collection of the videos that you've done. Maybe do more video content.
Yeah.
Today, YouTube is such a big player for AEO, and we didn't even look at AEO for this, but from
Right.
an SEO standpoint, very interesting. I would do slight modifications on what we're targeting and where we're strategizing, but good job.
Well done. Well done. Wow. That's a roast. Okay. So anybody wants any help, any advice, send us your URL. Don't forget to add Dear Sir Madam in the beginning. And we will see you next
The next
week.
one. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Peace.